Probably the most important thing a person feels is the need for a home. And not everybody has what you would conventionally think of as a home. And there are many homes that are really very uncomfortable. So the real home of the soul, the home of the being, is a sacred space. So think about your space and the importance of creating a sacred space, because this is about creating and cultivating your inner garden, the place where you exist, where you feel comfortable, where you feel right, where you have everything around you that you need. And for many, this is something physical, but physical space may not be available to everyone, and in these troubled times that we live in, your physical space may be all of a sudden lost, and all of a sudden you don't have anywhere to be or anywhere to go. So sacred space ultimately is something inside you, something that is where you live in terms of your mind. And when you ask yourself this deeper question, where are you? Are you where your body is? Or are you where your mind is? And of course, ultimately, everyone is where the mind is. And what is happening in your mind? What kind of thoughts, what kind of feelings, what kind of surroundings are you comforting yourself with and sustaining and supporting yourself with? What flowers and trees and pathways are there in the inner garden of your mind? These are creations of our thoughts, our sense of self. Where do you live and who do you live with? If there is someone you love, you will say, I keep you in my heart. And they will say, I keep you in my heart. Sometimes you will say, I live in the world of light, where I came from, where I'm going to, my destination and my origin may not be a physical building, a wooden, a stone, a brick house. Not necessarily. These are places where we pass through. But there is something we build inside, a refuge, a place of safety, where I can go and be with me, my beloved self, in my beloved sacred space, where I do not allow myself to be in opposition to who I really am. Building sacred space within is very important for the person who is journeying through life. You're moving from time to time, from place to place, from person to person, or carrying your sacred space with you. Wherever you stop, you find somewhere. You sit beneath a tree, you sit beside water, you sit in front of a mountain, and a place where you go to repeatedly to sit and think and be gets filled with your vibration. And that becomes your sacred space for a period of time. And later you may move forward to another place, and wherever you go, you can find somewhere that corresponds to the essence of your being, somewhere that begins to fill with your vibrations as you sit and think and muse upon your existence. Sacred space is filled with memories of your inner discoveries, memories of your memories. You carry your being, your heart, your life, your childhood, your traumas, your challenges, your dreams. Even the lost and broken dreams, you still carry them with you. And ultimately, you get close to the essence of why you are and who you are. And you keep that resonance of yourself with yourself wherever you go. If you go into a public place, sooner or later you will find a corner of that place where you sit frequently, and that place picks up your energy and reflects your vibrations back to you. It is comfortable to find a place like that where you can stay for longer and longer and longer time, but not everybody has that luxury, not everybody has that possibility. And so create in your heart, create in your being a garden where you nourish your purity, your integrity, your courage, a space where you keep the memories of what is most important in your life. You nurture this, and this nurtures you. It is your space where you carry your music and your songs. It is the space where you carry the lightness and humor of your being, yourself. It is the space where you sit and contemplate the stars at night. You sit watching the moon as it moves from full to new and full again. The moon remains always there for you. Thousands and millions of years. It is a reference point, something that you can attach yourself to without ever losing it. You connect yourself to the waters, to the rivers, to the pathways of your memories, and visit them from time to time, carrying them with you in your heart. You have people who are close to you. You go with them to certain places that resemble other sacred spaces. Among the Native American Indians, wherever they create a ceremony, they raise the teepee, they sit there for 1 or 2 days with the fire and the chanting and the rituals and the stories and everything they go through together through that sacred ceremony. And after a day or 2, they disappear from that place, but the place holds its resonance and is forevermore called sacred space. The land is dotted with sacred areas which hold the memory of sacred action that took place, sacred moments of deep intimacy between you and your close people. These sacred spaces are in the land and they're in your heart, and they give meaning to your being. You make a sacred space by sitting there and by coming close to other beings in inner sacred journeys. You sit by the fire and you open up your heart and you remember your traumas and you move through them and you give it away to the universe, and you have created sacred space. You create sacred space when you pass through illness, when you go through to the maximum pain possible and you transcend it and you pass through and achieve another level of being. That is also sacred space, sacred time, sacred memories. You carry it with you forever. You make sacred space by doing sacred actions somewhere. Sacred means that it is holy, it has meaning, it is pure, it is sacred because purification has taken place, transcendence has happened. It is sacred because it is filled with meaning that changes your life, that changes your purpose, that has carried you somewhere, perhaps where you thought you never could. Sacred is because of sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense that you make something sacred by your action that is selfless, that is for a higher purpose, that takes you to an impossible place, but yet you reach there. That is sacrifice. That is a sacred space.